So this is a site on the Uetliberg, that's Zurich that you can see down in front, which is obviously a very big city, and the airport is over on that side where the city is, so that's a no-go area. But you can fly this site. It's quite a narrow little cutout launch, and when the wind is coming straight into it, it's not that hard to take off, and you can reach-saw this face. I've only flown it when it's thermic, and you pretty much have to wait for a thermal to come through launch so that there's enough wind that you can then take off. So this day they were northeasterlies, light to moderate, I guess, 15 to 25 k's aloft, so not strong enough that it was making it super rough or anything, but it's about 45 degrees out of alignment with the slot launch, so it does make it pretty tricky. I'm very grateful to the other pilot who reset my wing for me before I took off, because the Volt's a lovely wing, and in laminar airflow I've got no problem launching it, reverse launching it, or forward launching it even from a rosette. But the air there is very turbulent, obviously, because you're in the middle of a thermal, and so if the wing isn't beautifully laid out, it really makes it very hard to try and get the wing tips, the ears inflated before you're past a point of no return. And that slot is actually quite narrow. There's only a couple of meters on either side of your wing as you're going out. So definitely a nice clean launch is required. So anyway, after this, I basically stayed in the one thermal that had come through launch, and managed to get enough height to then work my way down this ridge where I'm going now, and then just looking at the clouds and figuring out where the next thermal was likely to be. And sure enough, I got myself a thermal and I headed off downwind. So it's about 40. So the wind was going to be taking me in the wrong direction, and I also needed to head south out of there to stay clear of airspace for a bit before the step increased. And I was having very little trouble complying with the airspace, because the drift was pretty much taking me in that direction, but it meant I couldn't climb until I was away. And then after that, I was having to do sort of a sawtooth thing where you get blown downwind in thermals, and then I would go crosswind to keep myself going in the direction of Aarau. As it turned out, I landed about 3 k's short of where I wanted to. It was just on the wrong side of a bit of forest, and the wind increased in strength the closer I got to Aarau, and if I'd known that, I probably would have aimed further upwind, so I could have done the last leg downwind. As it was, I was coming almost directly crosswind, and that didn't work out for me, but it was still a fun flight. The Volt behaved beautifully. It's a really, really lovely wing to fly, very performant, and I was seeing about 3.5 meters per second in the climb, so it wasn't a massive day, and the wind maybe hitting 25 k's an hour at times up by the clouds, but that's just at the point where it's not strong enough that it's going to be causing any crazy turbulence. So it was a fun flight, and I highly recommend this site if you've got good reverse launch skills and you can pick your moment to take off in a thermal. It's a nice place to start.